Welcome back to The Explainer. Okay, today we're unpacking an incredible narrative straight from Kahani Junction, all about the phenomenal power of consistency, persistence, and just plain hard work. Through the historically rooted story of a young guy named Vardaraja, we're going to explore exactly how ordinary effort can literally compound into extraordinary mastery. Let's get right into it.
But before we dive into the history, I want you to ask yourself something. Have you ever felt like you just can't learn anything? Seriously, be honest. We've all been there. You stare at a page, maybe listen to a lecture, try to pick up a new skill, and it feels like your brain has just hit a solid brick wall. You look around, and everyone else seems to be getting it effortlessly, right? While you're just stuck at square one. It's isolating, it's deeply frustrating, and honestly, it breeds this heavy kind of self-doubt that makes you want to just throw your hands up and walk away. Well, that exact feeling of total inadequacy, that's exactly where our story begins today.
Section 1. Vardaraja's Gurukul Journey.
Okay, let's dive into this. To really appreciate the heights of Vardaraja's success, we've got to understand his environment first. We're stepping way back into an ancient Indian Gurukul. Now, this wasn't just a school you popped into for a few hours a day and then went home to chill. A Gurukul was a traditional educational system where students actually lived with their guru, their teacher. It was a 24/7, completely immersive environment. You ate, slept, breathed, and worked right alongside your peers and your master. It was incredibly rigorous and disciplined. Now just imagine being the one student in that highly visible, super demanding place who just isn't getting it. There is nowhere to hide. Literally every mistake is public.
And, well, that was Vardaraja's reality. His life was basically defined by continuous academic failure. While the other students easily grasped these really complex Sanskrit verses and grammar, the sources actually describe him as a seemingly dull student. Despite being in this revered place of great learning, surrounded by all this wisdom, the lessons just would not stick. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. You can imagine the heavy toll this took on his spirit. Waking up every single day knowing you're probably about to fail again, feeling like you're just not fundamentally equipped to succeed.
Section 2. The Turning Point. You know, every great narrative has a catalyst. For Vardaraja, months of academic struggles finally led to this deep, overwhelming frustration. He was totally ready to give up and just leave the Gurukul entirely. But on his journey home, he stopped for water at a village well. And there, he noticed these deep grooves cut into the hard stone rim of the well. When he realized those cuts were made by the friction of a soft, simple rope drawn over the stone day after day after day, this massive, pivotal realization hit him. If a soft rope can conquer hard stone through sheer repetition, why couldn't his mind conquer his studies? That single shift in perspective sparked years of unwavering practice. It proves that success is a structured progression built over time, definitely not some overnight miracle.
And this brilliantly illustrates the life-altering transformation that took place. He went from the struggling student sitting on the floor in total despair to a revered master of one of the most complex languages in human history. I mean, this wasn't just a minor improvement, it was a complete identity shift. He went from the absolute bottom of his class to a renowned Sanskrit scholar. So, what actually bridged the gap between that failure and absolute mastery?
Section 3. The Power of Practice.
The secret engine fueling this whole transformation is captured perfectly in the source material by the Hindi word abhyas. It broadens the whole concept of practice into this dedicated, almost spiritual commitment to persistent effort and hard work. It implies showing up when you're completely exhausted. It's doing the work when you are so frustrated you could scream. It's the sheer force of will to keep drawing that soft rope over the hard stone until it actually leaves a mark. Abhyas was Vardaraja's ultimate weapon.
And here is the absolute heart of the Kahani Junction story. Through consistency and hard work, even a seemingly dull student can become a great scholar. I absolutely love this because it completely shatters the myth of natural talent, right? We are so often told that people are just born smart or they're born gifted. And if you don't have that innate gift, well, you shouldn't even try. But this story definitively tells us otherwise. Your starting point does not dictate your finish line. Hard work, when applied consistently, can absolutely override a lack of initial talent.
Section 4. Your path to success.
So, the crucial point is, how do we actually take this ancient wisdom of Vardaraja's abhyas and apply it to whatever you are trying to learn today? Well, it breaks down into a few actionable steps. Step 1 is to embrace discipline. Discipline is just doing what needs to be done, even when you really don't feel like doing it. It's setting the schedule and actually sticking to it. Step 2 is to maintain dedication. This is the emotional side of practice. It's constantly remembering your why to fuel that discipline. And step 3, never give up. As Varadaraja learned, failure is honestly just data. It's simply a sign that you need more practice, not a sign that you should just throw in the towel.
To bring this all together, effort will always be the great equalizer over innate talent. You've got to build this unshakable self-belief that the work will pay off long before you ever actually see the results. Remember that the struggle itself is the pathway. If it feels hard, that means you're growing. Trust the process, embrace your abhyas, and always remember the rope and the stone. Consistent hard work always pays off in the end.
I want to leave you with a question directly inspired by our source material today. What inspires you the most to keep practicing? When the going gets really tough, what is that fire inside you that makes you pick up the book or the tool or the instrument and try just one more time? Find that inspiration, hold on to it tight, and let it drive your consistency. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep practicing, keep growing, and I will see you next time.